A lot of big talent at the front of this senior Superheat Group 1 grid. So these two races will settle the grid for the final, and it's the last chance for everybody to put on a show. Evan Gilter and Ellie Goldstein from Rivaldo van der Westerleken and Luca Griggs, Arthur Poulain and Finn McLaughlin from Sam Shaw and Gabriel Stilt, Herbert Smoor and Daniel Mathia round out the top 10 from Ollie Greenall and Eduardo Villa, Ariel Elkin and Enzo Levesque from Eric Genet and Carly Atkins, Eliska Babichkova and Lazar Lartigo, Marcus Lucio and Jason Young from Kamala Gar, Kimi Duron, Angus Millsdale and Adrian Maliero, Alexander Mono and Lewis Bird from Sebastian Murray and Santiago da Costa. So the battle is going to be well and truly joined from the start. They come off the final turn, back on the straight. Gilter and Goldstein together on the front row. This looks like a much cleaner start. Are we going to go racing this time? Do we get the signal? Yes, we do. Let's race. Charging through. Gilter takes the lead. Goldstein trying to hold it round the first corner. Has everybody got through? Yes, they have. Bit of a battle up to turn 2. One driver going off the road. That is the 302 CRG, I'm afraid, going off the road. That is one of the Spanish drivers, Adrian Maliero, flying off the road. They are bumping and boring through turn 4. And there's a couple of drivers going off the road, managing to catch it. What a save from one of the Victory Lane drivers there in the mix. I couldn't quite make out who that was. I think it was Kimi Duron. But the field storms its way through. There's a lot of drivers trying to make up some ground here. Oh, big slide from Eduardo Villa as he gets tucked in behind Finn McLaughlin. And they're all still squabbling. Stilp is on the curb. Somehow he keeps it on the road. But Gabriel Stilt will have lost a lot of ground there. Oh, there's 2-3 karts going off the road further back. It just got a little bit too close together. And that, I'm afraid, is game over for one of the kart republics. That is the 229 going off the road. That is Angus Millsdale. So Angus Millsdale goes off. That's his race compromised. And there are several drivers falling down the order as a result of that. Sam Shaw's plummeted a long way down the field. I think he might be practically out of it. Kamala Gar was the one who went off with Angus Millsdale. So they're both trying to recover. But out in front, it is Evan Gilter. Oh, he dropped it off the curb there, Evan Gilter. So Gilter, the race leader, is under big pressure here already. Goldstein is down to 5th as a result of a tricky start. But the Belgian hasn't given up the ghost yet. There he goes down towards the apex for the hairpin. This is a tight move for Goldstein. He was trying to defend originally. And then he ended up having to make the move on Arthur Poulain just because he was there. I think he missed his braking point by a meter or so, and that was enough to think, well, now I've got to go for the overtaking move and hope that Poulain has spotted me. So Goldstein gets in. And he's got Daniel Mathia right in behind him. Poulain, and then that is Ariel Elkin. What a start from the Israeli. So Ariel Elkin trying to take Ollie Greenall along for the ride through turn 1. Enzo Levesque is finally doing what he does best, saving it for the last. Elkin goes through on Arthur Poulain. Poulain keeps him back now. Here comes Mathia on the inside of Goldstein. Poulain gets back on Elkin. Off goes Elkin. Recovers behind Enzo Levesque. And Ollie Greenall's gone out wide. So Levesque is able to pick up 2 places in one fell swoop there. Tucking up behind Arthur Poulain. Poulain in 6th. Levesque is 7th. Watch out for Greenall on the inside of Ariel Elkin. And he gets there. Eduardo Villa is next up. And then it is Finn McLaughlin ahead of Lucio and Stilt. Herbert Smoor 14th. And then Lazar Lartigo. Fast, furious, frenetic. That's senior X30 all over. Poulain trying to hustle in behind Enzo Levesque, who has now got through. He managed to get the move there on the top of the turn at 11. Oh, and off the circuit. Don't tell me it's happened again. Elkin has fallen away. Elkin has fallen away again. 2nd race in a row. He goes through in 12th place, but he ran wide, and that's Ariel Elkin losing more time. Even more bad luck for the Israeli. So Gilter leads it. Van der Westerleken in 2nd, then Griggs. Fastest lap of the race comes from Lucio. A lot of hand signals coming in from the drivers battling for 6th position. This is Poulain and Levesque ahead of Greenall, Villa, McLaughlin, Lucio and Elkin. So a lot of gains to make. Some big battles incoming for the drivers as they race for position. This is a very tough race battle ahead for them. Gilter in front of Van der Westerlaken. Griggs is third. Here comes the battle in the mid-pack. This is Eduardo Villa, the TB car, trying to get through on Greenall. Lovely move from the Italian. Oh, and Greenall tries to come back at him. Villa nearly loses it. That's going to hold Greenall up. Greenall gestures to Stilp and Luzio behind him. Come on, let's go get Villa. They're going to tag in behind him. And no, you shall not pass, says Eduardo Villa. Great racing in the midfield. But Villa is not going to let the British drivers get an inch of an opportunity. Ariel Elkin is now tightening behind Luzio. And as they go through into the fifth hairpin once again, this is absolutely awesome racing. There's Goldstein falling into the clutches of Arthur Poulain. So Goldstein has not quite been able to have the same sort of rhythm that we saw from him in the cooler conditions. Giovanni Trentin puts the Pantano as the fastest card out there at the moment. Gilter is still the leader. And there goes Poulain on the inside of Goldstein. That's for P5 now. His next target, Daniel Mathia. But Evan Gilter leads from Rivaldo van der Westerlaken. There's only half a second between them. What can van der Westerlaken do to close up on Gilter? Head down. Nothing between them as they came across the line, really. Goldstein trying again on Daniel Mathia. Oh, sorry, on Arthur Poulain. So Arthur Poulain still holding fifth position. Goldstein looking for his opportunistic move, but he can't get by. Kalai Atkins now pops up with the fastest lap, a 1:03.4. I think it's fair to say that the track is pretty much bone dry. We wouldn't be getting lap times like that if we weren't. So Goldstein all over the back bumper of Arthur Poulain, trying to squeeze through. Mathia now knows he's there, checks over his right shoulder. Into the hairpin. And still some great battles to come. That's how tight to the line they're running. Arthur Poulain actually kissing the grass on the way through as he came in. Just one wheel over the white line. So Eduardo Villa running in 8th position in front of Greenall and Luzio. Elkin is 11th now in front of Moore, Atkins, McLaughlin and Latigo. Eliska Babichkova runs in 16th place. Gilter is now starting to pull away from Van der Westerlaken. History's repeating itself. This is just like yesterday. Gilter stretching away now up to the first corner. That was still trying to get through on the inside there of McLaughlin with help from Eric Genet. And that's the move on the inside from Arthur Poulain. He finally gets his move on Daniel Mathia. So Daniel Mathia has to concede in the AC Motorsport car. The Kart Republic chassis gives best to the red speed of the Victory Lane karting star Arthur Poulain. And Arthur Poulain has been waiting for quite a while to make this kind of impact over the course of the weekend. He's been in the top 10 all the way through. He's been there or thereabouts. But this is his ultimate moment. And he's finally able to showcase his real skill. So this is it now for Arthur Poulain. He's going to make use of it. Levesque on the inside of Goldstein. Don't even think about it. Goldstein chops him across. You're not getting through there, mate. Goldstein holding him at the line. Look at Gilter. He's gone. He's a second clear already. This is going to be so hard for everyone else to catch up to him. And it looks to me as though Goldstein's really running the gauntlet on his tyres there. Just looking very vulnerable. Levesque is having a look to try and make his bid on the inside. Not a lot Goldstein can do. He's got to let him go. So Enzo Levesque gets up into the position. P6 is now his. And here comes Arthur Poulain again. Now he's caught up to Luca Griggs. Luca Griggs running in third and looking to start on the second row of the grid for the final, but not if Arthur Poulain is going to dive on the inside. Daniel Mathia looking for an own battle as well. So Evan Gilter is hoping to make a place or two. Can he get his bid as he moves forward? On the inside goes Arthur Poulain into third place. What a try from the Frenchman. And now Mathia seals his chance on Griggs as well. So Poulain through, Mathia through, Griggs down to fifth and falling into the clutches potentially of Levesque and Goldstein. 8 laps done, 5 to go, and Gilter is stretching his legs out front. No need for recompense, no panic. So a very exciting battle for the drivers. So this is where Arthur Poulain has caught right up to Van der Westerlaken now. This is going to be tricky through the hairpin. Will he make the bid into turn 7? So this is a very interesting maneuver. That was pretty textbook actually for Arthur Poulain. He didn't really make that one look too difficult. Through the top of the hill they come. But Evan Gilter is long gone, so Arthur Poulain knows that this is a race for second place and not much more. But that will put him 5th on the grid for the final, and that is, or certainly 5th provisional on the grid, I should say, for the final. And that should bag him the top 10. Poulain keeps over his shoulder. Oh, he's backing them up. He clearly feels right. Well, Gilter is way too far ahead. So now this is the race victory as far as I'm concerned. I can't actually win it. Second will have to do. So time to back them up. And that's not really what Van der Westerlaken or Mathia wanted to do. Mathia gets through on the inside of Van der Westerlaken. And this is just getting started now. Through they go again at the hairpin. A great duel, a great battle, a little bit of nudging as Van der Westerlaken still runs in front of Griggs. Watch for Levesque. He's not going to wait around, nor is Griggs. Griggs on the inside, and they lean on each other. Van der Westerlaken goes off. Now that was Griggs on the inside line. Van der Westerlaken not prepared to give him space, and they ended up clattering into each other. Goldstein trying to get back on Griggs. Levesque having already got through. So now Poulain is in second ahead of Mathia. Levesque is 4th, Griggs is 5th, Goldstein 6th, Luzio up to 7th, and Van der Westerlaken is dropping back. He's now behind Vila and Atkins. Atkins going to make his bid on the inside. There goes the Jamaican star on the inside of Eduardo Vila. An absolute assassin's move from Eduardo Vila and Kalai Atkins as Atkins gets through on the inside line at turn 1. Very tricky to get right. But Arthur Poulain is now in front of Daniel Mathia, looking absolutely perfect. Arthur Poulain really saving his best for last here. The clouds are starting to return over the circuit. That's not a good omen. So it could be a very spicy end to the superheats if things change. Certainly the track is dry enough for slicks though, so that's got to be the option for the drivers heading into the next heat. So Gilter, Poulain, and then of course it is Daniel Mathia. But as we go into the penultimate lap, Evan Gilter has no pressure whatsoever. 1.8 seconds. Luca Griggs has picked up a warning flag. Now that is crucial, because Luca Griggs is going to get a 5-second penalty that comes with that, and that's going to drop him down to 15th behind Eliska Babičková. So Luca Griggs is racing Ellie Goldstein, but essentially now Goldstein is ahead, but Goldstein has overtaken him anyway. So big frustration for Luca Griggs. He doesn't know about it yet, but if he looks on the digiboard as he comes through, he will know about it. Kamal Agar is now the fastest driver on track. He's actually on his own towards the back of the grid. So Kamal Agar giving himself plenty of time to play with. Ellie Goldstein has worked his way back past Luca Griggs, 5th position, but Poulain, Mathia, Levesque, Goldstein and Griggs look almost settled. I don't want to jinx it, but certainly it looks pretty settled between the competitors there. So it's still going to be a very tough race all the way through. But look at Evan Gilter's lead. He checks over his shoulder. No worries. Oh, 2 karts off the road and a bit of discomfort for one of them. That is Juan Aluya and Gaspard Lagaye. So Gaspard Lagaye, a little bit discomfort there as they come together at turn 4, I think. Yellow flags are there, and they're on the last lap, so as long as everybody gets through sensibly, everyone will be absolutely fine. But there are yellows at turn 4. Evan Gilter doesn't need to concern himself with that. He's got a massive, massive advantage as Kalai Atkins sets the fastest lap of the race. Rapid ever since the 4th and 5th heats yesterday. And for Arthur Poulain, this has been a smooth drive that's going to put him in the top 5 provisionally in the superheats. But once the second superheat comes out, of course, the balance will be redressed. But here comes Evan Gilter. What a drive. It's back to basics, back to business as usual for Evan Gilter. A dominant win in the superheat. Terrific drive. And that's pole position for the final for Evan Gilter. Guaranteed. Gaspard Lagaye and Juan Aluya walk away. And I have a feeling that's game over for them this weekend. But your race winner, Evan Gilter, well, he's done everything he needs to do up to this point. Fastest in qualifying, the most consistent driver across the heats, and now the winner of the first Superheat in X30 Senior. What more is there left to do but go for the victory in the final and take the lead in the IAME Euro Series points? It's definitely going to be a tough race battle from here on out, but Evan Gilter has staked his claim. If I get into the lead and start to stretch a couple of kart lengths away, forget about me, because I'll be gone. Evan Gilter in fine form right now. Arthur Poulain doing a great job in the Superheat. That puts him into contention for the final as well. And solid from Daniel Mathia, keeping the Spanish hopes alive and kicking in Senior X30. So Evan Gilter wins from Arthur Poulain and Daniel Mathia. Enzo Levesque in front of Ellie Goldstein. Luca Griggs, Carly Atkins, Marcus Luzio and Eduardo Villa. Rivaldo van der Westerlaken rounding out the top 10. Herbert Smoor fights to 11th in front of Eliska Babachkova. Lazar Lartigo in front of Eric Genet. Oliver Greenall is ahead of Ariel Elkin from Nathaniel Den Hont and Gabriel Stilp. 19th place goes the way of Kimi Diron in front of Adrian Maliero and Jason Young. Then Alberto Paul ahead of Finn McLaughlin, Hugo Natarel, Sebastian Murray, Nick Ho and Kamal Agar. Giovanni Trentin is ahead of Alex Martinez from Sam Shaw, Alexandre Monod, Lewis Bird and Angus Millsdale. The retirements, well, they were all out together. Santiago da Costa, Juan Aluja and Gaspard Lagaye.